Friday the 13th has always been known to be a day associated with negativity and bad luck. But what if I told you that Friday the 13th was actually once a day that was used to celebrate feminine energy? Today I'm going to break down how Friday the 13th is associated with divine feminine energy. Friday the 13th is actually not a bad day. It is a beautiful day, a day to honor and revere goddess energy, honor feminine energy. I'm going to break down in this video the history of how Friday the 13th became known for this bad luck and negative energy, and I'm going to explain how you can use this day for your own rituals, for your own transformation, and to honor not only the goddess within yourself, but the goddess and the divine mother within us all. Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Jalisa. I help women step into their feminine power, heal, rewire their minds, and become magnetic beings. If you are interested in anything and all things feminine energy, if you're looking to evolve as a woman, just hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you here. So let's get into it. So Friday the 13th, right? If we break it down, Friday is ruled by the day Venus. Every day of the week is actually ruled by a planet, and many people do not know this. Monday is ruled by the moon. Tuesday, I believe, is ruled by Mars. Yes. And Wednesday is ruled by Mercury. Thursday is ruled by the planet Jupiter. Friday, like I just said, Venus. Saturday is Saturn, and Sunday is the sun. Our ancestors, prior to Christianity and just, coming into this patriarchal society that we had, it was very heavily driven by matriarchy. It was heavily connected to feminine energy. There was more balance. It doesn't mean that male energy was not important, but there was more balance between the masculine and the feminine energy. It wasn't so masculine driven. We didn't honor just the masculine, we honored the feminine. So Friday is ruled by Venus. Venus, as we all know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Venus is associated with all things feminine. It's actually one of my favorite planets. It's the planet of beauty, the planet of sensuality, the planet of love. You can even go further into like fertility. The number 13 represents the number of cycles that a woman has, and it also represents the number of moon cycles. And as you may or may not know, women, our cycles are connected to the moon. We are connected to the earth. It is our divine right as women to have intuition. It is one of our biggest gifts. We have become so disconnected from things that are our innate gifts as women. We have disconnected from celebrating womanhood. We have disconnected from rituals and rites that have been passed down from our ancestors. It has been demonized, and that is not true. How did this come about? Frigg, the powerful sky goddess in the Norse mythology, and she represented things like sensuality, beauty, fertility, and marriage. So the day of Friday was actually a day that was also associated with good luck. Friday was actually a day of good luck. It was a day to tap into that feminine, that raw feminine energy. It was a day to tap into your beauty. But things changed. We moved from the matriarchy to the patriarchy. This is when we had colonialism. We stepped in and Christianity came. And I'm not downing Christianity, I'm just explaining the historical facts. Prior to Christianity and a lot of cultures, there was a lot of earth-based practices. There was a lot of plant medicine. There was goddess worship. What happened was when they came in, they wanted to change. The men, because these were male-dominated, societies coming in, wanted to change. The Western civilization, Western philosophy wanted to come in, and they wanted the cultures to celebrate manhood, and to honor Christianity above all else. So what they did was they decided to shame and demonize, punish, and guilt those who were connected to their traditional practices. And these practices were passed down from their ancestors from generation to generation. As women, we carried this philosophy that kept us connected to our intuition. As women, we are so intuitive, and it is such a divine right to be connected to our bodies, to the planet, to our consciousness and relationship with our higher power, and to not only honor the god but the goddess, because it was always both that were important. And if you look in mythology, if you look at ancient Egypt, and even in certain religions that we have today, like Hinduism and certain religions, they were male, or are male and female deities. Back in the day, you saw a lot more goddess worship. There were goddess statues all over the place. And if you ever notice, a lot of these goddesses were always not clothed. They were always naked. I'm not sure if I can say that on YouTube. They were always revealed. And this revelation of their body was honored. It was their temple. It was not shrouded in shame. It was not shrouded in guilt. It was not deemed to be a bad thing. It was always seen as something natural to celebrate, being connected to the earth, being connected to your body, celebrating as women, coming together in community. Frigg was responsible for social order. In fact, Friday was always known as a good day to get married, and she was known to be good luck for marriages and also protected like families in the home. When these colonizers came and these, Christians came, they saw the people and the women celebrating sensuality and pleasure and beauty, and these things were considered unholy. So they wanted to put a stop to it like immediately. As a result, these women were called witches. And we even had that obviously here in the States, where we had the witch trial. Women were disconnected and forced to disconnect from their nature religions, from their nature practices, from being connected to Mother Earth, and from being in touch with their selves and honoring whatever it is that they wanted to honor, having that freedom. 13 was actually a very lucky number. It was a number that was and is still associated with transformation. But when Christianity came in, the number 12 was more important. 12 disciples, and then we changed the calendars to 12 months. Before it was 12 months, I believe it was actually 13 months. It was connected. The calendar was connected to more of a natural cycle. It wasn't connected to something that was man-made. It was connected to astrology, the earth, the planets. That's how our ancestors lived. We always loved things like the moon, knowing the cycles of the moon, and eclipses. We were obsessed with eclipses. If you look at ancient cultures, eclipses were such a major thing. We were just so connected to our creator and how our creator made the planet and being in tune with nature, because we are not a part of nature. We are nature. We honored that nature. We honored the nature outside of us, and we honored the nature within us. And we were more in tune with the planet. We were more in tune with ourselves and each other. Women have always been known to be psychic, have always been connected to things like our menstrual cycle, menopause, all of those things that are in our womanhood, our beauty and our sensuality as well. Once we moved to the patriarchal society, we were then deemed unholy. Menstruation became unholy. Our sensuality became unholy. As a result, it took away women being connected to their feminine energy. So how can you transform and honor this day? Because I believe that it is very auspicious and important to work with the planets and work with the days. So this year, Friday the 13th is only happening one time, and that is Friday, June the 13th. If you are watching this video after Friday the 13th has passed, it comes up every year, and sometimes even more than once a year. So you can still use the advice from this video. How can you honor this day? How can you transform and honor the divine feminine energy collectively and within yourself? So doing different activities, this is the perfect day to journal. See what comes up and see what is channeled when you journal. Take some time to meditate. Do some sacred rituals. Take time to beautify yourself. Take a bath with flowers. Drink some tea. Slow down. Do things such as goddess worship if you are into that. Pick a goddess from a culture and learn about her. Learn about a culture, or learn about your mother, your grandmother, your ancestors. If you have an altar, I do altar work. You can put pictures or flowers or things up on an altar. If you don't have an altar, you can take a sacred space, light a candle, and take that time to honor the feminine. Like right now, I am menstruating, and I find that that is so beautiful that I am menstruating. Not only there was a full moon yesterday, but also during the time of Friday the 13th. I feel that I am just so connected. I'm going to also be doing a video on menstrual cycles and moon phases. I think it's so important as women to understand when we are going through our menstrual cycles, what does it mean during each phase, because there is a meaning, and that message comes through of where you are in your life as a woman, where you're transitioning. Because as women, we are just so sacred, and we are fluid. We are fluid beings. We're constantly evolving and shape shifting, and it's important to be able to hold space and energy for that. It's also a good day to do moon gazing, go outside, stare at the moon, and also you can go for a hike. You could be in nature. You can set intentions. And I always think it's so interesting how all of the things that are feminine have just been labeled as unholy, dirty, or unclean, and how these things are sacred, and how they took that word sacred and they turned it into scared. They turned it into scared. The letter sacred and the letter scared are exactly the same letters. They're just jumbled into different formation. So if you change up the letters, they mean two different things. So be mindful of not listening to what feels right for you, what feels right internally in your heart and your spirit as a woman, and to take that time to be with yourself as a woman and to do womanly things. And this is not about vanity. It's not about fitting into a box. It's about slowing down. It's about connecting with other women. It's about connecting with the goddess energy of the earth and seeing what comes through. It's about listening to your own divine energy. If you would ever be interested in learning about goddesses or certain goddesses, I can feature them on my channel. Some of my favorite ones that I work with and that I've learned from, and listen to their stories and what knowledge and wisdom that I have had passed down on to me, the medicine that I've received from working with different energies of goddesses. Comment below and I will do a video on it. And if there's a specific goddess that you're interested in, comment on that as well, and I would be more than happy to do a video on it, because I'm just so passionate about feminine energy, feminine wisdom, our medicine, and the sacredness of being a woman. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you took something valuable from this video and that you spend this time doing something sacred to honor your feminine energy. And even if you're watching this and it's not Friday the 13th and you don't want to wait till next year, you don't have to. Take a day and honor a Friday. Use a Friday. Every Friday, I like to try to spend that day doing something to honor my feminine energy, because we're so disconnected from it. So Friday is always a reminder for me. It may be a day that I choose to just like beautify myself. It may be a day that I take a bath. It may be a day that I spend focusing on feminine energy. I'm going to link down below a meditation that I love to listen to, and it's just so majestic. It's called Devi prayer. It's so beautiful, chanted in Sanskrit, and it is a prayer, 108 sacred names of the Divine Mother. So it's such a beautiful, beautiful meditation. It is such a transformational, and I can't even explain it. If you listen to it, please comment and let me know below what you think, because the activation within you when you listen to this sacred, ancient prayer, this meditation, it's just, oh my God, I can't explain it. It just brings something of the Divine Mother within you to life. It's almost like this timeline that you just connect to, like the past, the present, and the future of this like feminine power. I want you to think about how can you celebrate the death and rebirth cycles in your life as a woman. As a woman, we go through so many phases. Get our menstrual cycles at a very young age. For a lot of us, we enter womanhood, and then we step into the age of where we share our bodies with others, and that is major. We give life, and even if you don't give physical life, you have a womb. So you're still mothering, still giving life to things as a woman, because you carry a womb. And then we go through menopause. So as women, we have all of these phases, and even every month You are constantly being reborn. You have all of these different phases within your cycle. You go through your luteal phase, you go through your follicular phase, you go through your ovulation phase, and then you have your menstruation phase. And I'm going to be doing more videos on this because these are things that have been shamed and it's not talked about. And it just saddens me that we don't really talk enough about this. Now, some of our mothers didn't talk to us or share these things with us because it wasn't passed down to them. Somewhere along the lines, the traditions, the ceremonies, the rituals, they were taken away from us. And it's time that we bring that back. It's time that we honor the goddess. And it's not just about honoring women. The goddess, she blesses us all. She blesses all of us. She blesses this planet. She blesses animals. She blesses men. And even men have a connection with the divine mother. You know, I believe that there's a divine mother and there's a divine father. And there is a place for both of those energies, no matter what your religious, beliefs are. Even in nature, we see feminine and masculine energy. And together, that creates union, that births light. Without one, you don't have the other. And it doesn't matter what your sexual preference is or what you believe. We all carry masculine and feminine energy within us. We are entering times where we are just removing more and more of that powerful feminine wisdom, that feminine energy. And more importantly, we need to be reminded of it. We need the balance. We need to bring back the divine feminine and to revere that feminine energy, to honor it, and to share its medicine. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for sharing your time and supporting me. I cannot wait to see you next video. Mwah.